You are not here by accident, and you are not hearing this by chance. Heaven has arranged this moment with precision, and your spirit was drawn here because the timing is exact. Chosen one, do not be distracted by what the world is showing you right now. Do not let uncertainty speak louder than truth. This is not a season of panic. This is a threshold moment where things begin to shift in your favor. Anointed one, you are standing at the edge of a supernatural turning point. What has been delayed is now aligning. What has been held back is preparing to move. There is a door of wealth, provision, and elevation opening before you, not through striving, but through divine appointment. This is the kind of moment spoken of when Scripture says, "The vision awaits its appointed time, and though it seems delayed, it will not fail," as written in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. Anointed one, heaven does not announce these moments loudly to everyone. It marks them quietly and draws the ready. What you are sensing is not imagination. It is alignment. A transfer is not only about resources, but about position, clarity, and authority being restored. And sometimes God's reminders do not come through explanations or voices, but through something simple, steady, and quiet, that the soul recognizes when everything else grows loud. What has been prepared rests here, unchanged, waiting without urgency. You do not need to hear this a second time for it to work, because heaven does not repeat itself to convince. It speaks once to align. What is happening right now is not emotional, and it is not imagination. A new chapter is opening that rewrites your relationship with money, provision, and value. I say this carefully, because I have lived the season where worry spoke louder than faith, where effort did not seem to match outcome, and where praying for relief felt heavier than working for it. That chapter does not follow you here. It ends at this threshold. Anointed one, you are not becoming someone new. You are returning to who you were always meant to be. The version of you that survived scarcity learned strength, but it was never meant to stay there. I remember the moment I realized that struggle had trained me, but it was not my destination. That same realization is forming in you now. What once felt like limits were never ceilings. They were lessons, and those lessons have done their work. This is the moment where expectation shifts. Whatever number you once imagined as enough is being challenged, not to create greed, but to expand capacity. Heaven does not release increase into a vessel that still fears it. You are being steadied so you can carry more without panic, more without losing peace. I learned this the hard way. The moment money stopped feeling emotional, it started moving differently. It became a tool instead of a test. That is the alignment taking place in you now. Anointed one, slow your breath here, not because this moment is fragile, but because clarity requires stillness. Expansion does not rush. It settles. It roots itself. Abundance is not noise, it is order. Prosperity is not pressure, it is rhythm. What is flowing toward you will not demand chaos from you. It will respond to calm confidence. What you are stepping into is not wishful thinking, it is observable alignment. Money responds to clarity. Opportunity responds to readiness. When I stopped chasing outcomes and started honoring structure, doors began opening that effort alone never touched. This is not mystical language. This is lived experience. Wealth moves toward those who can see it clearly, hold it responsibly, and release fear around it. That is what is forming in you now. Anointed one, you are not behind. You are positioned. Every delay refined your discernment. Every dry season taught you stewardship before overflow. I know what it feels like to want relief before readiness, but heaven does not confuse speed with blessing. What is coming will stay. That is why timing matters. From this moment forward, attraction becomes easier because resistance is loosening. You are no longer negotiating with old beliefs that told you money was scarce or difficult. Those beliefs served a season. and now they are being released without force. I watched this happen in my own life quietly. One day I noticed I was making decisions without fear. That was the sign. Not the amount, but the mindset. When fear left, flow followed. Anointed one, you are learning to see money neutrally, as resource, as movement, as value exchanged through skill, consistency, and integrity. This is maturity. This is readiness. This is why opportunities begin recognizing you without effort. People trust those who move calmly around resources. Systems open to those who respect structure. You are becoming that person without striving to prove it. Do not rush the understanding that is arriving alongside provision. You are not only receiving increase, you are receiving clarity about how income is created, how it is sustained, and how it multiplies over time. This knowledge changes how you walk through the world. You pause instead of react. You plan instead of panic. You respond instead of chase. That posture attracts favor. Anointed one, you may notice small changes first. Better decisions, cleaner boundaries, a quieter confidence. These are not coincidences. These are signs of alignment. I learned to trust these signals before the visible results arrived. And they always arrived. Let this settle without forcing belief. What is opening does not need your effort, only your readiness. Abundance is not arriving to overwhelm you, but to support you. And as this truth anchors itself, you may feel a calm certainty replace urgency. That calm is not passive. It is power under control. Anointed one, this is not the end of the message, but it is a natural pause. What follows builds on what has already been set in motion, and it remains here, steady and prepared, without needing to call for you. Chosen one. What begins to unfold now is not louder, it is deeper. This is where many misunderstand how heaven moves. Breakthrough does not always announce itself with noise or urgency. Sometimes it arrives as a quiet rearranging of your inner posture. You stop bracing. You stop anticipating loss. You notice yourself making decisions with a steadiness you did not practice before. That is not random. That is preparation completing its work. Anointed one, you are learning that wealth is not attracted to desperation, but to stability. I remember a season where I prayed for increase while still fearing responsibility. Heaven did not answer that prayer immediately, not out of denial, but out of protection. When provision finally arrived, it came with clarity, not chaos. That is the pattern you are stepping into now. You are not being rushed into abundance, you are being established in it. Chosen one. There is a difference between wanting relief and being ready for stewardship. Relief seeks escape. Stewardship seeks structure. What is forming in you now is the ability to hold increase without losing direction. That is why you may feel less emotional about money lately. It is becoming neutral. When money loses emotional charge, it gains momentum. This is not theory. This is alignment lived out in real decisions, real planning, real discipline. Anointed one, this is where patience becomes power. Expansion builds layer by layer. It does not collapse under pressure because it was never rushed into place. You are beginning to think longer term without forcing yourself to. You consider consequences, you see patterns, you recognize which opportunities carry substance and which carry distraction. This discernment is worth more than quick gain. I learned that after chasing things that looked promising but carried no foundation, heaven used those lessons to refine my sight. You are receiving that sight now without needing to repeat the mistakes. Chosen one. Alignment does not mean everything feels easy. It means your thoughts, decisions, and actions are finally moving in the same direction. When that happens, effort becomes productive. Time becomes valuable. Opportunities become visible, not because they suddenly appear, but because you are now ready to recognize them. This is why your perspective is shifting. You are not waiting for rescue. You are participating in building. Anointed One. You may notice that money conversations no longer drain you. Planning no longer feels restrictive. Responsibility no longer feels heavy. These are signs of maturity, not loss of faith. Scripture speaks of being faithful with little before being entrusted with much, not as a test, but as a process. Heaven does not give weight to a structure that has not been reinforced. You are being reinforced now. This season is teaching you that income grows when value grows. Value grows through skill, consistency, problem solving, and reliability. None of these require pressure. They require presence. I remember realizing that my earning potential expanded the moment I committed to doing fewer things with greater integrity. That same shift is happening in you. You are simplifying. You are focusing. That focus creates momentum. Anointed One, do not compare your path to anyone else's. Comparison confuses timing. Your journey is specific. Your preparation has been intentional. Every step forward counts, even the ones that felt invisible. Heaven counts what the world overlooks. Quiet progress is still progress. Often it is the kind that lasts. Chosen One. As trust grows, urgency fades, pressure softens, confidence increases. You begin to trust your ability to make sound financial decisions without seeking constant reassurance. That trust attracts opportunity. People trust those who move calmly with resources. Systems open to those who demonstrate consistency. I have watched this happen slowly, then suddenly. Not because I chased favor, but because readiness met timing. Anointed One, you are preparing quietly, steadily, intentionally. This is why unexpected opportunities begin to appear. Not miracles without context, but openings that make sense when you look back. Gifts, windfalls, profitable ideas, strategic connections. These do not arrive to overwhelm you. They arrive to expand what you have already built. Notice the satisfaction of having enough to share. Notice the freedom to invest in yourself without guilt. Notice the peace that comes from knowing provision is not fragile. These are not fantasies, they are indicators. Gratitude becomes natural when abundance stops feeling uncertain. I learned that gratitude rooted in knowing feels different than gratitude rooted in hoping. You are crossing into that knowing now. Anointed One, allow that feeling to expand gently. See abundance touching every area of your life without force. Your work, your home, your relationships, your health. Support begins to feel normal instead of surprising. Security begins to feel deserved instead of temporary. This is what it means when abundance becomes your standard, not your exception. Each step forward now is backed by preparation. Each decision builds momentum. Each day adds stability. This is not dramatic, it is dependable. And dependable growth outlasts dramatic moments. When you visualize your future now, it feels grounded, not inflated. That grounding is strength. Anointed One, as this settles, you may sense a quiet peace replace anticipation. That peace is not the end of movement, it is the foundation for what comes next. What follows builds on this clarity, and it waits without urgency, already formed, already steady, already present. Chosen One. What unfolds next is the internal shift that allows the external to follow without resistance. This is where many pause, not because they are unworthy, but because familiarity tries to pull them back. The old rhythm of struggle can feel safer than the unknown rhythm of ease. I have stood in that exact space where abundance felt unfamiliar and the mind searched for problems that no longer existed. That moment is not failure, it is transition, and you are moving through it now. Anointed One, you are learning that readiness is not loud confidence, it is quiet trust. Trust in your ability to handle what comes without losing yourself. Trust in your discernment when choices appear. Trust in the steadiness that has been built through experience, not theory. Heaven does not release weight to instability, it releases weight to maturity. That is why this phase feels calm instead of dramatic. Calm is the signal. Chosen One. There is a guiding force shaping your income, your planning, and your direction now. That force is expansion. Not expansion that overwhelms, but expansion that teaches. Expansion in awareness, where you notice opportunities you once dismissed. Expansion in capacity, where larger numbers no longer intimidate you. Expansion in confidence, where hesitation gives way to clarity. I remember the first time I realized my decisions were no longer driven by fear of loss. That was the true breakthrough. The money followed later. Anointed One, expansion does not rush, it builds. It teaches you to think beyond immediate relief and into sustainable growth. You begin to recognize patterns in how value is created and how momentum is maintained. This changes how you earn, how you manage, and how you protect what flows into your life. Respect for money replaces anxiety about it. Planning replaces guessing. Direction replaces reaction. Structure begins to form naturally. Not rigid control, but intentional design. Money responds to structure because structure creates stability. Stability supports growth. You are building that framework now, often without realizing it. Small habits, clear boundaries, thoughtful decisions. These are the unseen beams that hold future abundance. I learned that wealth does not collapse strong structures, it leans into them. Anointed One, you are also learning that income grows when value grows. Value is not noise or constant motion. Value is skill refined, reliability practiced, problems solved with consistency. You are capable of learning, improving, and applying what you know in ways that increase your reach. This is not pressure, it is empowerment. The moment this clicked for me, comparison lost its grip. I stopped measuring my pace against others and started honoring my own path. That freedom multiplied results. Chosen One. Your journey is specific. Your timing is deliberate. Every step forward carries weight, even the ones no one applauds. As awareness settles, urgency softens. Confidence replaces impatience. You begin trusting your ability to navigate financial decisions with calm attention. That trust is magnetic. People sense it. Opportunities respond to it. Systems open for those who demonstrate steadiness. Anointed One, you no longer react emotionally to money situations. You pause, you evaluate, you respond. This maturity attracts alignment. Those who manage resources responsibly are entrusted with more. I have watched opportunities appear, not because I searched harder, but because I was finally prepared to receive them without chaos. That same preparation is evident in you now. Chosen One. As this continues, you may notice moments of unexpected provision, not always dramatic, but timely, a gift, a connection, an idea that solves more than one problem at once. These are confirmations, not conclusions. They remind you that alignment is active. They invite gratitude rooted in knowing, not hoping. Anointed One, allow that gratitude to settle in your body, not as excitement, but as peace. Peace that comes from certainty. Peace that does not need proof to remain. Imagine abundance touching every area of your life with that same steadiness. Your work feels supported. Your relationships feel secure. Your future feels anchored instead of uncertain. Chosen One. See yourself moving through life confident and grounded. Each decision builds momentum. Each day strengthens stability. Each action aligns with long-term growth. This is not imagination. This is vision becoming familiar. When a future feels familiar, it becomes accessible. Anointed One, let this vision settle without forcing it. What is being built does not need urgency. It needs consistency. The next phase continues from here, not louder, not faster, but deeper, and it remains ready, patient, and already in motion. Chosen One. What begins to mature now is your relationship with certainty. Not certainty about outcomes, but certainty about your capacity to move through whatever arrives without collapse. This is the level most never reach because it requires releasing the identity that learned to survive through tension. I remember noticing the moment I stopped checking outcomes obsessively. Not because I no longer cared, but because trust had replaced vigilance. That was when flow became consistent instead of occasional. You are entering that same territory now. Anointed One, you are no longer being shaped by urgency. Urgency narrows vision. Readiness expands it. Heaven does not move through panic. It moves through order. That order is forming in your thinking, your pacing, your expectations. You begin to notice that you are less reactive to news, less shaken by fluctuations, less tempted to rush decisions. This is not detachment. This is grounding, and grounding is what allows increase to remain. Chosen One. There is a quiet rewiring happening in how you interpret opportunity. You no longer see every opening as a lifeline. You see it as a choice. That distinction changes everything. When opportunity stops feeling like rescue, it starts feeling like alignment. I learned that when I stopped saying yes out of fear and started saying yes out of clarity. The quality of what entered my life shifted immediately. The same discernment is awakening in you now. Anointed One. Wealth is not responding to effort alone anymore. It is responding to coherence. Your values, actions, and direction are beginning to agree with each other. That agreement creates trust. Trust creates flow. This is why systems, people, and timing begin to cooperate without force. It is not because you are pushing harder, it is because you are no longer pulling against yourself. Chosen One. This is also where surrender deepens. Not surrender as passivity, but surrender as alignment. You stop trying to control the path and start honoring the process. Scripture often speaks of seasons, not moments, because growth that lasts unfolds over time. You are learning to let time work with you instead of against you. That patience is not slowing you down, it is stabilizing you for what comes next. Anointed One. There may be moments where old voices resurface, doubt, comparison, the memory of lack. These do not mean you are moving backward, they mean old patterns are losing their authority. When something loses power, it often makes one last attempt to be heard. I have seen this in my own journey. Each time I chose steadiness instead of reaction, the voice faded faster. You are doing the same now, Chosen One. Your sense of value is shifting inward. You are no longer measuring worth by output alone. You recognize that value includes wisdom, restraint, and timing. This is why your decisions feel fewer but stronger. Fewer distractions, fewer detours, more